If you're in the United States right now, there's a very high chance that the tablet you swallowed this morning was made thousands of miles away in India. Blood pressure medicines, diabetes pills, antibiotics, even life-saving cancer drugs, a huge chunk of them are not manufactured in America. So here's the big question: why does the US, one of the most advanced, strict, and rich healthcare systems in the world, trust generic medicines made in India so much? Is it just because they're cheaper? Is it because of trade deals? Or is it because Indian pharma is secretly the backbone of global healthcare? Welcome back to PharmaHealth Insights. Today, we're going to decode the full story, with facts, figures, some fun, and a lot of honesty. How big are generic drugs in the US? How much of that comes from India? Why does the US FDA rely so heavily on Indian factories? And what are the real quality and safety checks behind your tablet? Stay with me till the end, because the conclusion will actually change the way you look at that small pill in your hand. The shocking truth about US prescriptions. Let's start with a simple quiz. If I ask you, in the US, out of 10 prescriptions filled at a pharmacy, how many are generic medicines, what would you say? 3? 5? Maybe 6? The real answer is 9 out of 10. According to the US FDA, 90% plus of all prescriptions filled in the United States are for generic drugs. That means, only about 1 in 10 prescriptions is for a branded, original, innovator medicine. The other 9 are generics, copies of those original drugs made after patents expire. And here is the fun twist: even though generics are 90% of prescriptions, they account for less than 20% of total prescription drug spending in the US. One US report estimated that in a single year, generic and biosimilar medicines saved American patients around $370+ billion. So the math is clear: generics equals most of the volume, a small part of the cost, but a huge share of the savings. Basically, generics are like that quiet topper in the class who does all the work, never shows off, and still saves everybody's grades. Enter India, the pharmacy of the world. Now comes the India angle. You might have heard this line: India is the pharmacy of the world. This is not just a slogan. It's backed by data. Recent industry and government reports show that India contributes about 20% of global generic drug exports. India's pharma exports have grown from around $15 billion to nearly $28 billion in just about a decade. And when we zoom in specifically on the United States, one analysis and rating report notes that India supplies nearly 40% of the generic drug demand in the US. Other estimates say roughly 40 to 50% of all generics consumed in the US are sourced from Indian manufacturers, depending on how you calculate volume versus value. So, think about this: when an American goes to CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, or any local pharmacy, there's a very good chance that the generic medicine in that small orange bottle originally started its life in Hyderabad, Ahmedabad, Mumbai, Bengaluru, or some other Indian pharma hub. Somewhere in India, a batch of tablets is manufactured under strict quality norms. The batch is tested, packed, kept in controlled warehouses, loaded into containers, shipped across oceans, cleared by US authorities, sent to distributors, then to pharmacies, and finally reaches a patient in Texas, California, or New York. That journey is not random. It exists because the US system trusts the Indian system, but with conditions. Why does the US trust Indian generics? Let's be clear: the US does not trust anybody blindly, especially when it comes to medicines. So why does it work so closely with Indian manufacturers? The US FDA footprint in India. Outside the US, India has the highest number of US FDA-approved pharmaceutical plants in the world, with hundreds of facilities registered and inspected regularly. That means, the same regulator that inspects plants in New Jersey or North Carolina also walks into plants in Gujarat, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, etc., checks documents, processes, cleaning, validation, stability data, everything. And then either approves, gives observations, or issues warning letters. US FDA inspectors must know Indian hotel breakfast menus better than some tourists by now. Let's talk about the ANDA and bioequivalence, the science behind trust. Every generic drug in the US has to go through a process called ANDA, abbreviated New Drug Application. To put it simply, the generic must prove it has the same active ingredient, same strength, same dosage form, same route of administration as the brand. And very importantly, it must be bioequivalent, which means it behaves the same way in the body: absorption, blood levels, time to reach peak concentration. Regulators don't care which country it comes from: India, the US, Europe, if you can't prove bioequivalence and quality, you're not getting approval. Let's see why India wins in this game. So if the scientific bar is the same for everyone, why is India such a big player? Here are the 3 big reasons: cost advantage with quality, lower manufacturing costs, labor, utilities, large-scale plants. But still, high technical expertise and large pool of pharmacists, chemists, engineers. Here's the scale and specialization of the Indian pharma industry. India has entire clusters focused on pharma: Hyderabad, Ahmedabad, Badi, Mumbai, etc. Over decades, companies have built huge capabilities in formulation development, process optimization, and regulatory filings. Let's talk about the regulatory experience. Many Indian companies have been filing ANDAs for 20 to 30 years. They understand the US FDA language, data expectations, and inspection culture. So it's not a shortcut story. It's a story of we will play by your rules, and still beat you on cost and scale. But wait, what about quality issues? Now, let's address the elephant in the room. If you've followed pharma news, you might have seen headlines like, US FDA issues warning letter to Indian company, drug recall due to impurities, plant gets import alert. So a genuine question is, if there are so many inspections and some issues, can we really say Indian generics are safe and trusted? Let's do a reality check. Yes, problems do exist, but not only in India. First, we have to understand, quality failures, recalls, and regulatory actions happen in every country: US, Europe, China, India, everywhere. When you see an article only about India, it's often because India is such a large supplier, any small problem becomes big news. It's like, if one restaurant in a city serves 5% of the customers and another serves 50%, you will naturally hear more complaints from the second one, simply because the volume is higher. Why issues don't mean no trust. In fact, the visibility of warning letters and inspections is actually proof that the system is working. The US FDA publishes its findings. Companies have to respond with corrective actions. Some lose business, others improve their systems dramatically. Think of it like aviation. You'd be more worried if you never heard of any safety checks than if you occasionally hear, this route is under review, this aircraft is grounded, etc. In pharma also, constant monitoring plus occasional enforcement equals long-term trust. Let's now talk about Indian industry's learning curve. Over time, Indian companies have invested in better quality systems, data integrity, automation. Hired more global QA, QC, compliance experts. Shifted mindset from past the audit to sustain the quality culture, still a journey, but the direction is right. So yes, problems exist. And they must be taken seriously. But if the trust was broken, we would not be in a situation where America still depends so heavily on Indian generics even in 2025. Now let's follow the money. How much does the US save? Let's come back to US patients and taxpayers. Generics in the US have been estimated to save hundreds of billions of dollars every year. One report put the savings at around $373 billion in a single year, and over $2.6 trillion over a decade. Now imagine, a big portion of the generics enabling these savings is being supplied by Indian companies. So, when the US talks about affordable healthcare, reducing insurance costs, supporting Medicare and Medicaid budgets, it's not possible to have that conversation seriously without acknowledging India's role in the supply chain. In a way, Indian pharma is like a silent partner in America's health insurance equation, not sitting in Washington, D.C., but sitting in places like Pune and Visakhapatnam. Recent trends, tariffs, supply chain and future risks. Now, let's talk about the future, because the story is not all smooth. There are 3 big trends to watch. The first is tariffs and trade tensions. In recent years, there has been talk, and action, around tariffs on pharma products between the US and other countries. Some policies have targeted branded and patented drugs with high tariffs, and debates continue on whether to include generics more widely. Meanwhile, analyses from media and think tanks repeatedly highlight that around 40 to 50% of generics used in the US come from India, and any tariff or disruption here can risk drug shortages and push prices up for American patients. So it's a delicate balance between political messaging like bring manufacturing back home, and practical reality, who will actually make these millions of tablets affordably and reliably? The second is diversification and China plus one, but in pharma. Just like in electronics, in pharma also there is a China plus one and India plus one thinking. The US wants to diversify API sources, because many APIs still come from China. It also wants more resilience, not depending on only one or two countries for critical medicines. This can mean opportunities for India to strengthen higher value and complex generics, biosimilars, injectables. But also competition from other countries that want a slice of this pie. The third is Indian pharma moving up the value chain. India is not just staying with simple oral solids. We're seeing more activity in complex generics, biosimilars, injectables and oncology drugs, research, innovation, and specialty products. So, the relationship between the US and India in pharma is shifting from, "You make cheap pills for us," to "You are a key strategic partner in our healthcare and supply chain security." So, what this means for a US viewer. If you're watching this from the US, here's what this entire story means for you personally. Your pill is part of a global system. When you open that little orange or white bottle, remember, behind that pill is a global chain of science, regulation, manufacturing, logistics, and inspection. It's not just a local product, it could be an Indian formulation, with an API from another country, passing through multiple checkpoints. Should you be worried if it says made in India? My honest answer is no. You should always be informed, never blindly afraid. Whether it's made in India, the US, or Europe, what matters is regulatory approval, quality systems, and pharmacovigilance. If there's a major issue, the FDA publicly recalls products. That's the safety net built into the system. Here are some practical tips for you. Ask your pharmacist if you're curious about where your medicine is manufactured. Read FDA recall news once in a while, just like you check tech updates. Don't stop your medication suddenly just because of some WhatsApp forward or random fear about foreign drugs. Always talk to your doctor first. So, let's come back to the question we started with: generic drugs, made in India, trusted in America, but why? Because US healthcare needs affordable medicines, and generics are the backbone of that system. India has built huge capacity, expertise, and regulatory experience to supply those generics at scale. The US FDA keeps a tight watch, through plant approvals, ANDAs, bioequivalence studies, and inspections. Issues do occur, but constant scrutiny and corrective actions keep the trust alive. It's not a simple story of cheap drugs from a country. It's a complex, evolving relationship where a patient in Boston is unknowingly connected to a manufacturing line in Bengaluru. A diabetes pill in Houston carries within it years of regulatory science, global trade, and human effort from both India and the US. If that's not global collaboration, what is? If you found this breakdown useful and it changed the way you look at your medicines, hit like, share this video with at least one friend in the US, and tell me in the comments. Are you comfortable using generics? Have you ever checked where your medicine was made? Do you want a separate video on how US FDA actually inspects Indian plants or the life story of one tablet from factory to pharmacy? I read your comments personally, and they help me decide what to deep dive into next. Thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay healthy. And remember, sometimes, the tiniest tablet carries the biggest global story.